it's Risa and Kevin from Hudson Valley Vintage. Welcome, welcome. It's date night with Paint Couture. So I painted this antique dresser with obviously Paint Couture in Misty Fjord and did 2 coats. A little bit earlier, we did some stripes on the sides. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So this is Misty Fjord and Grateful Dead from CC Restyle Remix Collection, and I really love how these look together. So I am using a transfer, and then we're going to be doing some blending. So this is from Redesign with Prima. It's called Wondrous Floral 2. All right, so I have this transfer, and it's a little forgiving because I'll tell you why. When you have a transfer that is clear except for the design, I don't really have to worry about edges and things like that all that much. So I am going to see where I want to put this. So there are 2 different pages, and the designs are slightly different. So I just want to see something. Okay, so that's too big. So I'm going to cut this one a little bit. And as I mentioned before, there's 2 pages. There's a white page and there's a clear page. You don't want to pull those apart until you are totally ready to place your transfer.
Exclamation point.
Down.
Exclamation point.
Dot, dot, dot.
Dot, dot, dot.
So-
Do not, all caps, pull these 2 apart.
Yeah.
Don't do that
So
until you're ready.
I'm actually gonna just hold this down here and get an idea of where. Now these have lines, which is awesome. So I can actually see that I need to cut it right about there. So I'm not just gonna take my scissor and go flying across. I'm gonna cut into it just a little bit. Try to make some sense of it rather than, like I said, just going, randomly across. But I am staying, with that line in mind that my drawer is there. Perfect. So now I have this. I'm going to raise up my dresser again. Do you guys have lift envy? I don't blame you. I would too. Now let's see. It's still kind of large. I'm not worried about it fitting. I know it's gonna fit. Now I'm gonna take it apart. And I'm not touching the design. I'm just touching the clear part.
And don't let the design touch anything else.
Yeah. which is another reason.
Like your pants or anything.
Yeah. Which is another reason why I cut it, because I don't want to deal with such a big piece at one time. So I'm going to take my transfer tool and just start rubbing. It's really those edges, that you really want to get really good. Now, Redesign with Prima also makes a transfer tool that does not come in the kit. It's a little fancier, and I sometimes use it, but I find these sticks, these little cheap wood sticks that come with all the transfers, to be fine. Once you get your edge on, see how easy that just goes? It's so easy once you get your edge on. You want to use a little elbow grease, but you don't have to go crazy. Now I have some wrinkles in here, and I'm just gonna use my finger to rub them out. And as you're pulling this, you wanna go slow, because if you have a spot that has not adhered well, you wanna just put it right back down and get it. All right, so now I have my other side, and I'm gonna just take a look and try to match it. So I wanna match these lines down here, and I wanna match these leaves over here. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad.
She says before it falls off on the floor.
I got so excited. What can I say? All right, so I have my transfer on. I'm only gonna do this drawer because I wanna really, what I really wanted to show you more tonight than that was some blending. So what I wanna do is just do a little darker shading around this, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna take my smaller brush, and I'm not really gonna use this for blending. I'm just gonna use it to get a little bit of the vintage moss on, just down here a little bit. And now I'm gonna take the vintage moss that is just a tad darker. So I'm gonna take my paint and just put a little bit on here. It's probably a little too much. And I'm just gonna start blending ever so lightly. So if you've ever used a makeup sponge, you know that you don't want to be pulling like this. You just want to be dabbing. So I'm still using my base color, and now I'm going to go in again with my vintage moss, which is really just a shade darker. And I'm just going to continue to go up to my transfer and then back out a little bit.
You're just touching so there's no hard edge.
But I'm also, exactly, so like right in here there is a hard edge. And if I just like paint over it, it doesn't really, see, it's just,
Doesn't do anything.
it doesn't do anything. But I do want to get my base color up to it, because then it's going to blend better than me just like dabbing on some of this. So I'm just putting a teeny bit, wiping it off again, and it's just kind of blurring that line. And you can go back and forth and play with it. And I'm just dabbing. I am not...
Yeah, you're not painting.
I'm not going like this.
Yeah.
I'm just very lightly dabbing, and I'm using very, very little paint.
Now I'll back up in a minute. I've been playing with the, I zoomed in.
Oh, you finally
Oh, this,
got it?
yeah, I finally had the guts to do it.
it works?
Because I was afraid I would shut the whole thing off. But I think everybody gets a good view of it this way. And how crazy simple this is.
Oh my God, I know. When I was doing it on the glass, I just thought, like, come on, this can't just be glass. If this blends so easily on glass, what's the difference what the surface is, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, so as I said before, we painted this 2 coats of Misty Fjord, and then what we have right here is Vintage Moss, and I just used a makeup sponge and dabbed it and blended it, and you know, I could go back. Kevin might tie me up to prevent me. If I wanted to, I could go back and clean up some of this. I don't know. He's making faces at
Are
me.
you trying to make it perfectly even around the edge? No, it's not supposed to be.
I know.
Perfectly.
But I just feel like now it makes this transfer look
Yeah.
as though it was hand painted.
It kind of gave it an antique look, like it's
Yeah.
an old piece.
Yeah. If you're painting something that was painted previously with latex, just be aware of that and be cautious.
One thing is you can always test it, put a piece of tape on it and pull it off.
Yeah, that's
Well,
a
the
good
tape
idea.
comes off, you know you've got to...
Yeah.
I've actually stripped furniture with blue tape before. Where,
Honey, you've done it.
You know, it's
What
just
have you
like...
not done in
well,
your
only
life?
because I put a piece of tape on and it came off full
You
of
have
paint.
led the most
So
fascinating life.
it's just...
It is
it's
like
endless.
It's
There's-
amazing.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Wait till the movie comes out.
Wait till the movie. It'll put you to sleep, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for watching. We will probably be back with this piece next week.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. We know you could be doing anything on your Wednesday night, so the fact that you take the time to spend it with us means the world to us. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.